Hello everyone, welcome back to Jikook Moments, the place where we don't just talk about what's seen, but what's felt. A space where every small smile, every fleeting glance, and every silence shared between two names, Jimin and Jungkook, becomes a secret language only understood by true fans at heart. Today, we're not going to discuss concert videos, stage interactions, or old clips that have resurfaced. We're going to talk about something that seems simple, a photo. Yes, just a photo of Jungkook's autograph at Itaewon Sarangbang. But somehow, from that one image, the fandom world trembled once again. A single stroke of black ink on a restaurant wall suddenly became the source of countless theories, thousands of comments, and waves of speculation flooding timelines all over the world. To some people, it's just an autograph. But to those who have followed the journey of these two hearts for years, it feels like a quiet message sent from the past. The photo first appeared on social media, no context, no date. Just the autograph, looking freshly written, with the restaurant's warm lights glowing softly in the background. And instantly, questions began to fill the comment sections like endless whispers. When was this photo taken? Did Jungkook come alone? Or was someone with him that night? Some fans started analyzing every tiny detail. The shadow on the wall, the chair's position, even the reflection in the glass behind the signature, trying to find clues that might not even exist. Because for them, every detail could mean something. Yet behind all that burning curiosity, one important thing is often forgotten: the truth. That autograph isn't new. Not from yesterday, not from last week. In fact, it's been there since September 4th. And that date isn't just any day. On the very same day, Jimin and Namjoon attended an exclusive moon party event at the Grand Hyatt, Yongsan, a private, star-studded gathering filled with elegance. Meanwhile, not too far away, about 800 meters from there, Jungkook was seen having a much simpler night, enjoying dinner at the cozy Itaewon Sarangbang, a barbecue restaurant known for its warmth and friendly atmosphere. Close, yet worlds apart. But as always, even the smallest distance is enough to ignite a storm of rumors. Some fans immediately assumed they must have eaten together in secret. Others said, that's too much of a coincidence. And so, theory after theory was born, layered between hope, longing, and endless curiosity. But the truth is simple: they weren't in the same place. Still, who can blame fans for wanting to believe? Sometimes, when we miss someone too much, we start creating stories from the silence. We want to believe that the laughter still exists, that the closeness hasn't faded, that behind every distance, there's still a meeting the world hasn't seen. Yet, not everything unseen is lost. Not every silence means separation. Sometimes, silence is a form of protection, because the brighter someone shines, the longer the shadow they cast. And Jimin and Jungkook know that better than anyone else. They've learned what it feels like to live under an unending spotlight, to love something or someone quietly, knowing that every move could become global gossip. We know their journey, how they grew together, learning to understand each other, not just on stage, but behind the camera, in practice rooms, during long nights when the world slept, and only they were still awake. Once, in an old interview, a journalist teasingly mentioned Jimin's name in front of Jungkook. Jungkook only smiled, a small smile, but something in that smile had changed. Since then, they became more cautious. They didn't drift apart, they simply learned to protect something precious. And when military service came, the two found a quiet way to reconnect. For nearly 2 years, they shared the same days, waking up in the cold, enduring hard physical training, late-night duties, and brief chats during rest hours. They didn't need cameras to record those moments. Memories were enough. Jungkook once said that Jimin is his safe place. And Jimin once admitted that Jungkook always makes him strong. Simple sentences, but filled with meaning. A bond born in such honesty doesn't fade easily, not by time, distance, or endless rumors. After their military service, the world was gifted with something different. The "Are You Sure?" project, a journey that felt like a living movie. 2 men, 2 directions, but one rhythm. Their smiles, laughter, and conversations felt so natural, as if the camera had simply captured something that had always been there. Jungkook once said that the trip was one of the best experiences of his life. A simple statement, but to those who understand, it sounded like a hidden confession. Of course, rumors never rest. Some claimed the project was cancelled, others said Jungkook withdrew. But there was no real proof. What's clear is that whatever they went through, they carried it not with bitterness, but with warmth. Because beautiful memories don't need to be displayed, they just need to be cherished. The world is often too busy searching for proof of love in front of cameras. But the truest kind of love lives behind the lens, in the quiet spaces not everyone can see. Jimin and Jungkook have proven that long ago. They don't need to appear together all the time to show closeness. Sometimes, a random smile, a song that feels like it was written from the same heart, or a small glance across the room, is enough for fans to know the connection still exists. Now, they walk their own paths. Jungkook conquers the world with his masculine aura and captivating charm. His Calvin Klein campaigns aren't just successful, they're a global phenomenon, placing him among the most influential brand ambassadors in the world. He's shown a mature, powerful side, yet still soft in the eyes of those who truly know him. Meanwhile, Jimin, with his almost untouchable grace, steps into the global fashion stage. As the face of Dior, he doesn't just represent elegance, he redefines modern Asian sophistication. Every time he walks a red carpet, cameras can't look away. From European to American media, all write about him, calling him the face of modern Asian elegance. He doesn't just represent a brand, he represents a generation. A generation that grew up brave enough to be gentle. Even fashion figures like Rona Ye, Gentle Monster, and Yundoko, Tambourines, now follow Jimin on Instagram, a subtle sign that the fashion world recognizes his aura, not just his fame. And when the Daily News, one of America's oldest newspapers, wrote a special feature about Jimin, the world knew he isn't just an idol, but a global icon. Every step they take leaves an unerasable mark. But behind all the achievements, one question always lingers. What about the two of them? Does that connection still exist? The answer is simple, yes, it does. Because true bonds don't need public validation. They've walked through the same storms, endured the same pressure, and supported each other when the world wouldn't stop watching. Now, they've simply chosen a quieter way to stay close, without the spotlight. So when you see Jungkook's autograph photo from Itaewon and start to wonder, was he alone? Or was Jimin with him? Maybe those aren't the questions we should be asking. Maybe the real question is, are they happy? Because as long as they're smiling, as long as they keep walking their paths, the world knows they're doing just fine. And maybe, behind all that silence, something still lives on. Understanding, care, and a love that never truly left. This isn't the end of their story. It's just a quiet chapter of a connection that's grown beyond words. A story that now moves under soft light, not blinding flashes. Believe it, they were never truly apart. Because some connections don't need long explanations. You just feel them, and you know they're real. Thank you for watching Jikook Moments. Don't forget to subscribe, turn on the notification bell, and share this video to keep supporting both of them. See you in the next episode, because true love never stops breathing.